Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruby. I do know I have a bunch of new subscribers since I was last on this channel. I know I keep going MIA, so I thought we would just do kind of a chatty get ready with me situation today, and I could update you guys on kind of where I've been, what I've been up to, what's been going on, why I haven't been filming, all of that stuff. I just didn't know what to film. I had an itch to film, and I know I've been working on this room a little bit because I wanted to start filming again. But I hadn't had time during my vacation break to actually like sit down and write up a plan because I was doing so many other things. Nothing too exciting, but just a lot of other stuff. And so I thought that today I could just do kind of a chatty get ready with me, put some makeup on my face, try out some products that I maybe haven't touched in a long time, and let you guys know what's been going on. And we can just roll with that. And then I'm hoping to get some time this week to actually sit down and write down kind of a filming plan so I know what I want to do. And that way I can kind of get back into the groove of things because I really do miss filming. I have a lot of new stuff that I've purchased for a while now that I haven't talked about on this channel. A lot of it new, a lot of it a little bit older, some of it's not new releases. So it really depends, I guess, what you're here looking for. So there is lots of content to come. There's lots of new reviews. I want to hopefully start doing more like ranking videos and just talking about even older products that I haven't used in a long time because I feel like they kind of get lost in translation in this beauty community because we skip over so many things so fast because there's always new releases. So I thought today we're gonna pick up some old stuff and use that and then just kind of chat about where I've been. So let's roll right into it. Okay, so I thought I would bring you in a little bit closer. I mean, this is probably as close as I'm gonna get. Hopefully it's close enough for you guys because I think this is close enough for me. So I picked out a bunch of makeup to use. I'm not really gonna talk about all makeup. I'll show you guys kind of what I'm putting on my face. So this is going to be my primer. I just said I wasn't going to talk about it, but that's the primer we're going to go with. My face is just really dry. My skin's been really dry. I don't know about you guys, how you're handling this winter. And, you know, if you have oilier skin, I feel like winter is like a blessing. And if you have drier skin, then not so much. But my face needs a lot of moisture. But I've also just been really bad at keeping up with like my skincare lately. I don't know what it is. I feel like during the winter especially, like I'm just not in the mood to do very much at all. Although this winter is starting to become a little bit different for many reasons, and I'll get into that shortly. So basically my last video on this channel was a live that I did. I think it was on September 21st or something like that. We just talked about new makeup releases. It was really, really fun. And I thought that I was going to start getting into filming again at that point. I did do a video or a live over on my friend Danny's channel a couple of days later, which is actually a really fun live. We curated our own like Dream Divina palettes, and they were like 6-pan palettes. I'll have that link down below or in the cards or whatever I can do. I do recommend watching it and getting Danny some views as well because she's amazing. And I love that she had me on her channel, but I just haven't been on since. And I think a couple days after that live, I actually had a dermatologist appointment. So as a lot of you guys know, I have, I'll show you both my arms if I can. I don't often like to, but I think now I'm at kind of a place where I'm like, so as you can see, like this is my right arm. And it kind of goes up past my elbow, but I've got all this kind of scarring and whatnot. It's on kind of both sides. It's not as bad on this side, but this side's really bad. It's majority on my hands, my wrist, and then it kind of like doesn't, affect the above my elbows as much, but it is there. And this hand as well. So I had a dermatologist appointment because obviously this looks to be something of concern. I mean, it's been put off for a long time for many reasons. Some of them had to do with me having depression and anxiety. Others had to do with, you know what, let me do my makeup. I don't know why I'm just sitting here. This is why I can't do get ready with me because I always end up focusing on just one thing. So I'm just gonna actually pull out my color corrector. Yeah, so it was put off for many reasons, and one of them being just my anxiety and depression. Another being, it was really hard to get in to the doctors during the pandemic. You guys all know that, I'm sure. And another reason was that my doctors, like any of the doctors that I was seeing, would keep telling me that it was eczema. And they would keep prescribing me things like topical creams and whatnot for eczema. And like, I didn't, like, I mean, I just, like, what do you do, right? You take your doctor's word for it, but it never really seemed like eczema to me, especially when it started escalating so much. I'm just looking over here on the side because I have my mirror there. So sorry if I'm not directly looking at the camera, but it's a bit hard to do that when you're doing your makeup and I'm not doing it in the viewfinder. So, my brushes are all just everywhere. So I'm just going to use like a foundation brush for this part. But so I was told for many years, this started probably in 2018, but it was not like this. Like, maybe I'll pop up a photo here for you guys so you can kind of see where it was. I don't want this whole video to be about this, but basically this has been my life. So for the last 2 months, at least, while I've been kind of missing. So I, saw my family doctor again, and I was like, you know what? This is not eczema. I feel like this is something else. I really want to see a dermatologist. He prescribed me some topical ointment at the, same appointment, whatever. It was like, try this in the meantime, and I'll send out a referral for you. I don't know, like in the US, I feel like you get in with doctors sooner. For me, he was letting me know that it was going to be about a couple months before I'm going to get into the dermatologist because the wait list is just huge. And I was like, great, like this is just welcome to Canada. This is our healthcare. I mean, it's nice that we have healthcare so easily available in the sense of like finances and whatnot, because it just comes out of our like taxes and all that. But the system just, I don't know. It's so hard to get into specialists, and family doctors kind of don't seem to know what they're talking about ever. At least that's what it feels like. But yeah, so I was expecting that to be a couple months. Well, I ended up being able to get a dermatologist appointment. I think it was on like September 29th. So it was just a couple days after I did that live with Danny. And so since that day, I was kind of like in a whole different world. It's just, well, not since that day, but like kind of since that day. So I, got to that appointment, and they, like, I didn't think anything was going to happen because the way I have sparkles all over my face. I don't know if you're going to see glitter specks. It's because I decorated my tree yesterday and the glitter has not come off of me. It's everywhere and I can't deal with it. So, that is that. I'm going to use the Fenty foundation. I think this is like the hydrating one. Haven't used this in a long time, and I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. I don't remember if I even like this. I don't remember if the color matches. Beats me. I think I'll use a Sonia G brush. That's what I've been liking lately. So I'm just gonna, and then I'll put it on the back of my hand. I think I might have to get rid of this soon. The reason I'm trying old stuff is because I'm going to be doing declutter soon. And so I was like, maybe I'll just, use some of my old stuff rather than the new favorites that I've been using all the time for like work and whatnot. I just love how this brush applies foundation. But yeah, so I didn't know how the appointment was going to go. I thought it was just going to be like kind of a consult, and then there would be like some kind of appointment later down the road. Well, when I got there, they ended up, the doctor came in. I'm not going to name doctor names or anything. Well, I had a lot of anxiety leading up to the appointment because I saw a lot of kind of negative reviews about this doctor online. And I think most of them were actually like racially biased. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what race exactly the doctor is, but she's not from here and she has an accent, and it's, not a super obvious accent, but it's there. She was like really nice, but the reviews kind of scared me. And note to everybody, don't ever look up reviews because I feel like they just kind of set you up for that whole anxious feeling before you even get in with the doctor. So I don't recommend doing that. But I did have that anxiety because I did do that. So anyways, I got to the appointment and I didn't know what to expect. And I was super nervous about the whole thing. And just, I I mean, I've been trying to get answers from doctors, or at least my GPs, for like so long, and nothing's come of it. So I was like, I'm not going to get my hopes up that this is going to solve all my problems. Well, I mean, it's not really problems. It doesn't bother me, except for the fact that, you know, just makes me really self-conscious. A lot of times when people, you know, comment on my hands and they're like, what's wrong with your hands? Or what's that on your hands? Or what happened to your hands? You know, it just kind of makes you feel really insecure. It makes you feel like, wow, like, what's wrong with me? Am I not beautiful? And things like that. Like, I was at a wedding last summer, and you know, it was an Indian wedding, and this older lady, I think she was from like the bride's side, because I didn't know her, and I don't think anyone on her side knew her. You know, she waved me over, and I was like, okay, like maybe she just wants like a drink of water or something, you know, like our culture is very big on like respect your elders, and elders will ask, you know, younger kids and stuff to grab things for them, which is like all fine and fair, because like they're old. They can't easily access everything all of the time. So, you know, it was like dark because the lights were down and everyone was dancing. So I thought, okay, like maybe she just like needs me to grab something for her. So, you know, I head over and she like she goes, "What's on your hands? What's that on your hands?" Or like, "What happened to your hands?" And, you know, I was just like, okay, this looks ridiculous. Let me blend this out. And she's kind of asking me just like, what's on your hand? Like, what is this or whatever, you know? And so at the time I thought it was eczema. So I'm just like, oh, it's eczema. And she says to me, oh, you know, I saw you and I was like, what a beautiful girl, but oh my God, her hands. So like what? It doesn't make me beautiful just because my hands have some kind of skin condition, you know? I For the longest time, since this has been happening, since people have been like, oh, what's that on your hands? I've come to a point, I wear long sleeves so I can pull them over my hands and not have my hands exposed. I don't wear jewelry on my hands because I don't want people looking at my hands. And the only thing is, I do talk with my hands, and I'm just like, well, I can't stop doing that because that's just kind of a habit. But I try as much as possible to not do it just because of that self consciousness. And I don't want to have to live like that. I don't think anyone should have to, you know, live like that. Like everyone should be able to be comfortable in their skin no matter what it's like, no matter if it has to do with, you know, your weight, your skin condition, your whatever. Like, you know, you shouldn't have to feel a certain type of way about the way you look or the way you feel. This foundation's actually looking really nice. But I'm gonna have to see how it looks close up because it looks good on camera. I don't know about the color though. It looks a little bit more on the yellow side than I like it to be. Like it's super yellow on my hand. Um, yeah, but things like that, you know, that's just one example of someone asking me. But like literally any event I would go to, people would ask, what's wrong with your hands? What's on your hands? And I just got sick and tired of it. Um, I mean, I was always sick and tired of it. A lot of times I didn't want to go to events because people would ask me, you know, it, it's just like always one of two things. Oh, you gained so much weight, or what's wrong with your hands? And I'm just like, why do people ask these questions? We shouldn't. We shouldn't ask these questions. But yeah, you know, you shouldn't have to live that way. You should be allowed to just wear whatever you want to wear, go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do, and just be happy in your own skin, because it doesn't matter what other people think, you know. But it's so easy to get lost in that whole thing because it's right there. Like, what do you do with it? It's, you know, some people can just be so triggering in that sense. Okay, I'm gonna use One Size Beauty for the bronzer because I haven't filmed with this. I've used it probably a handful of times, like 2 to 3 times. I think I'm just gonna use the middle shade today. Anyways, so circling back to the appointment with all that backstory stuff, I didn't think wow, that's, I forget how pigmented that is. Do you see that? I picked it up with my Sonia G bronzer. I think I'm gonna put this on this side, whatever's left. And then I need to go back and blend this out and hopefully it buffs out. I haven't powdered my face yet. But yeah, so when I got to that appointment, I was kind of nervous. You know, the doctor, I was in the waiting room for quite a bit, and then I got placed into the room, I guess, where the doctor was going to see me. And so then I was waiting in there for a little bit, and I was so nervous the whole time. I'm just on my phone, I'm shaking, you know, and I had a jacket on. I took my jacket off because I was like, okay, well, like, you know, she's looking at my hands. I don't want to awkwardly take my jacket off when she gets here. So let me just do this right now. And so anyways, I'm like sitting there trying to be like as prepared as possible to meet this doctor in hopes of like, you know, her being able to help me. So doctor comes in and the first thing that she asked me was, "How are you?" And you know that moment sometimes when someone asks you how you are and you just burst out into tears? Well, I started crying. I started crying because I was just so frustrated with, you know, everything that I've gone through with this, and you know, just finally being able to see someone that might be able to help me, that, you know, there was an off chance that they would have answers. It was kind of like an emotional moment in a sense. It wasn't really crying out of like fear or crying out of nervousness. It was more like, whoa, okay, I might get some answers today. I'm going to try not to cry today because I feel like I get very easily emotional. I'm on my cycle right now, so probably a little bit more prone to it. Yeah, going into that appointment, I was super, super nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I think this foundation is not sticking to my nose. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to show you. There's patchiness right there. And I'm not liking that, but I guess we're going to have to just deal with it. Oh, that looks so bad. It looks so bad on my nose. So, you know, she walks in, she asks me how I'm doing, and I just kind of burst into tears. And God, I cried for a little bit. And then she was like, you know, she came over, she patted my shoulder, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'm here to help you. We're going to figure this out together. What are we looking at?" And I mean, she already knew that we were looking at my hands because my doctor put everything on the referral when he sent it out. Um, yeah, so she already knew kind of what we were doing, but she still asked me, which I liked because I feel like it let me introduce what I needed from her. And so she looked at it and she thought it was like either like psoriasis or this one other condition, what it did end up being, except when I was in that appointment, I didn't understand what she was saying, like the words that she was saying, because I mean, I understood psoriasis because I'd heard of it, but the other condition, which I'll talk about in a bit, I wasn't sure what it was that she was saying because of her accent. I mean, and I could have probably asked, but I think I was in just such a nervous state that I didn't even think to ask. And so she was like, "We'll do a biopsy and send it in for testing, and we'll know in a couple weeks whether it is or isn't, you know, what we were thinking it was." So did the biopsy. I got one stitch from it. It's my first stitch ever. I've never had stitches before that. So that was kind of like, I don't know, it was so weird to say. It was kind of a cool moment. It felt like a cool moment to me, at least. I'm gonna contour under my lip because I always do that. Yeah, so you know, and then I got nervous because I was like, oh crap, we're doing a biopsy. Like right now, I'm gonna get a stitch right now. And I couldn't take anyone with me. Varun was outside actually waiting in the car. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about that as a under eye concealer. It's just, I find it really drying. I also have really dry skin. What do you do? So I ended up getting the biopsy. She numbed the part that she was going to do it on. I'll kind of see if I can show you my stitch. So it was right here. That's, you know, the two little red-ish dots. That's from the stitch. So I mean, you can see how bad that is, but yeah, that was where we did it, right on my wrist. And so she did it. She gave me one stitch, and it wasn't a dissolving stitch. You had to actually get it removed. So she told me in 14 days, just book an appointment with your family doctor and get it removed, which is what the plan was, right? So I booked that appointment, and we'll get to that in a bit too. But and then I was to wait about 3 to 4 weeks for the results of the biopsy. And if they came in earlier and it was more urgent, that they would give me a call. But otherwise, my appointment via phone was on November 4th to find out what it was. So I think like the first 2 weeks after that appointment were kind of just like my, like obviously my wrist was still hurting because of the stitch, or this, I keep wanting to say stitches, but it was just one stitch. But if I say stitches, it's still just one stitch, okay? And And I kept wanting to just like not do anything because my hand was hurting. It was on my right hand too, the one that I use. I mean, typing and all that stuff was fine for work, but it's just like doing things like doing dishes. I was scared to get it like wet at first. You know, it just took me a couple days to kind of get used to the fact that it was there. And because it was right on my wrist, I was scared of things tugging at it. Like I'm so bad with my hands. I'm so hard on my hands. And I was just like, oh God, I'm going to like make this worse, aren't I? And luckily I didn't. Anyway, so let's like do this in like, I guess, timeline order. So before like I found out what my results were, I had my like doctor's appointment booked to get the suture removed. Well, 2 days before that appointment, they called me and they were like, we don't actually have the tools to be able to do your sutures or like to remove them. In my head, I was like, you guys don't have like scissors, gloves, like alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. You guys don't have that in your office. It was really weird. Okay. So this is what I mean by Canadian doctors are kind of just like, I don't understand. So my option was to go to a walk-in clinic. I was not going to go to a walk-in clinic, sit there for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 hours waiting to get the stitch removed. So I decided to YouTube it and do it myself. And I did do it successfully. So I kind of tried to get my husband to do it, but he was a little bit too scared, so he didn't do it. I'm using the Amrezy highlighter. One of my friends used this recently, and it kind of brought it back to my attention. But yeah, it's the ABH Amrezy. I love the imprint on this. This was actually sent to me a long, long time ago by a friend. So I still have it, and I probably will keep this one if I like. Oh yeah, yeah, I love that on my skin tone. That is gorgeous. How pretty. I love it. I love that. Yeah, so that doctor's appointment didn't happen. I ended up being my own doctor for that suture removal. And yeah, that was fun. It was real fun, real disappointing and real fun. And then 2 weeks after that is when I heard back about my results. So during that kind of whole wait period, you know, you just kind of have like anxiety about like, what is this going to be? And the whole time I'm kind of just like, nope, I'm pretty sure this is just like some form of psoriasis or something, you know. So then on November 4th, I get that call. And she told me like during the call 3 times what it was. She's like, yeah, it's what I thought it was. It was the other one. Finally, I had to ask her, spell it out for me, please. I need to write this down because I mean, I want to know what it is that I have. So the term of it is, I'll put it up here, it's called lichen planus. And it's unfortunately an autoimmune condition. So this is something that's going to be chronic and something that I basically have to live with. These scars are going nowhere. So these are my hands for life. I just got to live with it like this, and it's okay. So if you don't like this, you're going to come over on my Instagram and be like, oh my God, monkeypox. Just don't click out, unsubscribe, unfollow, just go away. I don't need you in my life. I just don't want that energy. So for blush, I'm going to use the Jaclyn Hill Loose Blush. This is in the shade Love Poem. I want kind of a fluffy brush for this application, I think. A dense brush probably won't do it. I'll use this brush. It's kind of dirty, but it's okay. I'll clean it off. It's the Luxie 514 blush. Brush is just very, I'm just really scared because this is going to pick up a lot, and then I just got to tap off. Okay. So where were we? I took my own sutures out, and then I got my results, lichen planus. That's what I've got. It's autoimmune. So since that, I've been kind of like trying to like do research and figure out what this is. I mean, she didn't really give me a whole lot to go off of. So, I also forgot to mention, she did prescribe me like this salicylic acid ointment during that appointment when she did my biopsy. And so she told me to use that in the meantime until we wait for my results. And when she did the phone call with me, she was like, you know, you can keep using that, but don't use it like regularly. Take a break from it and then, you know, use it again type of thing. Because it's, I guess, one of those when your skin gets used to it, then it doesn't stop or doesn't really work as good as it should or whatever, or isn't as effective. Basically, she told me that I could keep using that medication, but it was just something I was going to have to deal with. So it was kind of like a zero help situation. And I was like, you know, is there any kind of medication I can take? Like nothing. And nope, nothing. No kind of treatment or cure for this thing. started Googling about it and stuff, just like trying to figure out what this thing was, because I was still really confused about it. I mean, she didn't really give me a lot of information to work off of. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really weird situation to be in, I think. Next, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. It's like a liquid matte eyeshadow. I don't know if they still sell these. Can I show you? Yeah, I don't know if they still sell these. This is what I'm going to use to kind of prime my eyes. Oh my god, I have like a hair somewhere here. Okay, and that's good. I'm going to do the other eye and just chat with you guys. So yeah, I've been looking up and I was kind of just like, I don't know what to do, right? And so someone on Instagram mentioned to me, hey, why don't you look on Facebook for support groups for this kind of stuff? Because there's support groups for everything. And I mean, they're not wrong. So off to Facebook I went, started searching like in playlist. I found some support groups, which actually I haven't really chatted in there yet because I don't know why, I've just been kind of like afraid to. I also haven't had a lot of time to. So I noticed a lot of people were talking about the AIP diet, and I started Googling this. I guess it's like the autoimmune protocol diet or the autoimmune paleo diet. So basically, you can't have like anything. You can't have nuts, you can't have seeds, you can't have grains, you can't have nightshades, so like potatoes, bell peppers, peppers in general, eggplants, you know, like all those you can't have, and you can't have dairy, you can't have, like, basically can't eat anything. No soy, you know, all of the works. So literally my diet's just been like meat, vegetables, lots of sweet potatoes, avocado, fruits, berries, tons of berries. The only things with sugars I can have, like I can have maple syrup if it's organic. You know, I can have honey if it's organic, that kind of thing. Everything for proteins has to be like grass fed and all that stuff. So basically, this diet's like an elimination diet, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the last month. Yeah, last month. So I've been doing the elimination diet because I was kind of like, well, I'm, you know, just lost cause. I don't know what to do. And a lot of autoimmune stuff is known to be related to gut health and all that. So I was like, well, it's worth a shot, right? So I basically quit everything, even coffee, couldn't have coffee, not even decaf. Was having a lot of like herbal teas. I discovered dandelion root tea, like roasted dandelion root tea. So that was, I was just checking the time on here. For the palette, I think I'm going to use this one from Oma Beauty. This is the Black Magic Color Palette for the Coming to America collab. I don't think I ever filmed with this. I don't even know if I ever talked about this on my channel. Totally reminiscent of like a Pat McGrath palette. I love this color story. These shimmers, they're like Pat McGrath level shimmers. They're really, really good. So basically that's the diet thing that I've been doing. I mean, I've, you know, had a lot of issues with like weight and weight gain, weight loss, mostly weight gain, obviously, but, and I've done a lot of restrictive diets, forced myself to do restrictive diets in the past because I'm just not going to talk about it. But this is probably the most restrictive thing I've ever done. It's hard. It is super hard. You have to be very, very disciplined. You have to be very, I don't know, you just have to be focused, you know, when you're doing it. So the first couple days were really hard. I had headaches because I quit sugar and caffeine and all those things. You know, and sugar's in everything. So it wasn't even like I was consuming a lot of sugar because I don't have a major sweet tooth, but it's just that sugar's in everything. So even quitting things like bread and, you know, just all those things, it just made it so hard. So the first couple days sucked. And then I was okay for a couple days. I was excited to learn new recipes and all this kind of stuff. I was cooking my food. And then I got frustrated. And I think that was probably during, I don't know, week 2 of it. And I started getting a little bit more moody and upset and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just like frustrated, like I'm done with this. Like I don't want to do it. And I was about to give up. And then I'm like, nope, I'm going to keep going. It was just like literally a whirlwind of emotions. And I think it was a lot of like probably hangry emotions too. Like I'm pretty sure that's a thing because food affects your mood. And you know, it kind of sucks when you can't eat to enjoy your food, especially when you're, you know, like a foodie. Like I feel like I'm a foodie, but it sucks when you can't eat to enjoy your food and you have to eat to just be like nutritious and disciplined and all that stuff. Like eating gets boring. I got to a point where I was like, I don't even feel like eating because I'm not excited to have my meals. Just like so many of those kind of feelings, which were also triggering of past things. It was hard. That was hard, but I persevered. I kept going with it, and it really started to feel good. I really started to sleep better, and now my sleep's been kind of weird again, but I think it's just like a lot of anxiety because my sleep was good until I had to go back to work. I was off for 2 weeks. So I think the anxiety is more just about like, am I going to be able to wake up on time now that I spent 2 weeks sleeping in? So that was a thing. But I feel good in the sense of energy. Like I want to do things more. I want to work out more, want to like do all the things I love. And I think that's why I also have this urge to start filming again, just because I've been feeling better. Um, so that's been an interesting journey, I think, to say the least. I don't know if I would ever recommend this kind of diet, but I mean, like, if you feel like there's nothing else helping you, if you've got some kind of autoimmune thing, I feel like it's almost worth it to try, you know? Um, it's just really hard if, especially during the holidays. I think I picked the worst time to do it. So that was one of the things that kind of, I think, drove me a little bit crazy. Next, I'm going to go in. I went in with that shade. I don't even know if I told you guys. I'm going to use that darker brown on the outer corner. Yeah, so it's just not something I would recommend people to do. Like, I'm not going to go sit here and promote it. Like, yeah, this works. Like, everyone should do it. I'm starting to now reintroduce stuff because I just wanted to see. I mean, I was feeling good. My stomach was feeling good. I was like, you know what? Let's just kind of try it because I need food with more substance in my life. So I've tried white rice, which now is okay. So I'm implementing it back into my diet. And also, what's the other thing? What's the other thing? Oh my God, coffee. This is my brain today because I went back to, well, I mean, I started work on Saturday, but today was like my official first day back because on the weekend it was kind of just overtime and we weren't really like doing anything extensive. So that was kind of just like easy, but like today was kind of a whirlwind for me going back to work. Okay, I haven't done eyeshadow in so long. I feel like I can't blend. It's been a while, you guys. It's been like at least 2-3 weeks since I've worn makeup. I lied. I wore it one day, but I just did like a liner look and it was just super, super basic, super simple. I'm going to use my mini booster, going in with that first shade, Sokoto. I'm just going to bring that underneath. Yeah, so the diet itself, I don't recommend unless, you know, you do have an autoimmune thing or you think you have food sensitivities, it might be like an option. I think that I kind of had enough of it to the point where I'm just like, I think I'm going to book an appointment with a naturopath, go from there. Because I think they can also do testing to see what foods and stuff you're, you know, more allergic to or sensitive to. This eye is just not, I hate this eye so much. I wanted this video to be like 15 minutes long, but at this rate, it's not going to be. I already know that. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I think I'm going to work on blending it with a clean brush just a little bit. I'm going to actually use this brush. I haven't used this brush yet. This is from Monet. It is, I don't know what brush this is. One of my friends sent it to me and it's like a really good like detailing brush, but I think it'll be really good to use just to like kind of finely blend this stuff out. I feel like when I blend, I can't talk at all because I'm just like so focused. Yeah, so basically that's been my life for the last 2 months. I had the last 2 weeks of November off. I went back to work today, like I said, and it was nice. It was nice to just have a break and focus on food, but I'm happy to be implementing certain things again because it was exhausting. I'm not going to go full-fledged back into like whatever I was eating. Normally, I think the things that for now until I see a naturopath that I might keep out are like dairy, gluten, you know, just all the like major allergens that we would think are affecting certain things. So I will probably keep those out for now. And we'll see where we go. But yeah, so that is kind of what I'm dealing with. I'm at a point where I'm just like, I'm going to be using my hands like they're my hands. I can't just like put them away. And I do YouTube, I do reels, I do whatever. I work, I type at work. Everyone is going to see my hands. If you're not okay with my hands, you don't need to be here, right? Like, I don't know, like, what else to say. Like, they're my hands. So, you know, if you don't like me swatching stuff on my hands because you can't get a good picture of what the pigmentation is going to be like because my hands are all splotchy, well then go find someone else. That's kind of just where I'm at, I think. And before I would kind of, I think, not have been there. Like I was more like, well, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because other people are going to think this. I'm at a point where I'm like, frankly, I don't care what anyone else thinks. And I know that I'm, you know, beautiful just the way I am, that I don't need to look a certain way or have certain features to be considered beautiful, because all we see is what we see on social media, the picture perfect, you know, body, hands. You know, you see people getting their nails done and their hands are like perfect. And I don't really like getting my nails done anyways because it's too expensive. But if I like, I've also not gotten them done because I'm like, well, my hands are ugly. But if I were to want to get them done, I would totally get them done now because I'm like, I really don't care anymore. I also actually have like plainness on my nail too. I don't know if, let me show you. It's on my ring finger. You can kind of see it when I turn my hand there on that finger. But yeah, it can also happen in your mouth. It can happen on your legs. But for me, it's just on my hands, nails, wrist, arm, whatever. I'm going to go in with the shimmer. Let us go in with the shimmer. I think I kind of want to use this shade. It's not as like shiny. Like these I think are more toppers, but I think I'm going to use this one here. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been. I think I'm going into the new year with a completely different mindset. So I'm super excited about life in that sense. I think just like I'm ready to just, you know, move on from this because now I know what it is. And now I know, I mean, like that I just, one, have to live with it, and two, I can only do so much about it. So I don't want to say I'm at a place of giving up because I don't think that's giving up. I think it's just trying to deal with it in a totally different way, you know, being more accepting of it and that it's just a part of me and it's okay that it's a part of me. So that's just been kind of a nice change of pace. But yeah, I don't really know if I have much else I can update you guys on because I haven't really been doing a lot. I've just been working and living, staying alive. Basically, it's a really pretty shimmer, but I think I might go over with the topper, really get in there. I don't even know if that's actually doing anything. I can see it in person, but I feel like on camera you can't really. That's pretty. I mean, obviously it's pretty. I put it all over my cheeks, but it's also pretty in the inner corner. I really like that highlighter. I'm also going to add some to the brow bone. It's just so pretty. Can you hear Apollo in the background? I don't know actually, because I don't know how far this mic catches noise, but he's growling and barking right now because there's people outside the house. It's a thing he loves to do. I forgot to put lip balm on, but whatever, it is what it is. Let me do my brows first, and then we'll finish the eyes. I'm going to use my Rephy, whatever. I actually have a backup coming of this because I've used it so much that it's like almost running dry. Like there is product in there, but I know that it's not going to last me until the next Sephora sale. So I figured while it was 20% off this last week or so, or it's going on right now, I think, the gifting code. It's a gifting code. I don't know what happened there with my autofocus. So I decided to grab another one while I was also grabbing some hair product. All right, and I just went over that with my NYX brow mascara just to kind of bring back some of the color because that brow gel is kind of white. I mean, it's not really white. It's kind of clear, but you can see it on your brows. However, I do really love how much it holds my brows. So I just like to add pigment back in, which is fine. I'm okay doing that. I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. I don't think I really have any more updates as far as like where else I've been because I haven't really been anywhere else, but that's kind of just what's been going on in my life. And that's kind of why I haven't really been filming because I kind of just was dealing, I feel like, with a lot. Like it feels like a lot. And I feel like it doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it was. I'm just going to line my lips and then I'll be right back. Okay, I kind of filled them in with this a little too. This was the Melt Perfectionist Lip Liner in Sepia. I really do like this lip liner. Just don't know that I like what I did with it just now. I think for lipstick, I'm going to use this Power Play shade from Artist Couture. I got this a year or two ago. I don't even remember. I'm going to wipe this off on my hand because it is a little bit like mixed up with something else. So that's kind of the color. It's like a mid-tone nudie brown. Still smells really good. Does not really go with this makeup. I do like the color though. I like how it feels. It's not like drying or anything. I'm just gonna curl my lashes and then put some mascara on, and that's basically it, I think. And then gonna go wash my face in a bit. I just really just wanted to play with some products and see how things went. I will probably also look at the makeup super close up before I go ahead and wash it off, because I need to see how everything's looking so I can decide if some of these things are things I want to put on the chopping block or if they're ones that I'm okay to get rid of. I think the Fenty foundation is most likely gonna go. I feel like for Pat McGrath concealer, I might just keep it for reference, but I don't know that I'll ever actually use it, so it might be worth decluttering. How do you guys feel about that concealer? Okay, and then for mascara, I'm just gonna use my Lash Princess False Lash Effect from what's this brand? Essence. My God, I have a few backups of this too, actually, and I probably need to actually declutter this because this is quite old. But I just wanted to see if this one, you know, showed me what I get out of this mascara without me having to open a whole new tube in case I don't want to open it. I'm trying to do that whole roll and wiggle at the same time. It's so hard. How do people do their mascara? It's like so difficult. That's, oh my God, I forget how good that is actually. That's harder for me to do. I really need like a lash serum. I have the Ordinary one and I keep forgetting to use it actually because I don't even know where I put it. But I really want to try new lash so bad. And I can't get my hands on it anywhere here, but I have friends in the US that have eyes on it for me because once that baby pops up on sale somewhere, I heard it's really cheap at Costco sometimes. I want it. I think this like the rolling method actually works. I want to try that with a non-waterproof mascara to see if it actually holds a curl on my lashes, because my lashes usually never hold a curl, as you guys all know if you've been here for some time. I feel like I probably mention it every video. Yeah, that's always a thing. It's always a thing. I am going to add some gloss. I had pulled out the Makeup by Mario. This is the Pro Volume Lip Gloss in Rose Nude. I remember when I first tried this, I really loved it. I don't really remember how I feel about it. Kind of smells like nothing. I don't know if that was also my first impression of when I first got it. I think this was originally released like holiday 2020. It was whenever those palettes came out, the little, or the quads, I should say. Oh, I did get his new palette, which I was, you know, hoping to film with right when I got it. Things happened and I didn't end up filming. So yeah, it's a really juicy gloss and it feels nice. It's not like super overly sticky or anything, but there's the makeup. Did I want to do anything else? Maybe I'll do some setting spray just for, you know, using it up. So this is almost done, I think. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray that on. The Charlotte Tilbury is my favorite setting spray right now, and that's the only one I think I'll ever use. But oh, look how that just melts everything together. This actually is a really pretty look. Kind of wish I was going out somewhere, but I do have to go to work tomorrow, so it's gonna be an early night. So yeah, we're not going anywhere. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Of course, everyone that's been here through my skin journey, thank you so much. Obviously, I don't really want advice on this whole thing, but I guess if you feel the need that you need to leave some advice or something, you can. I don't know that I'll respond to you or really read it. You know, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'll figure it out all in due time. I'm doing my research. I'm finding other people that have this condition or have autoimmune conditions that are doing AIP or, you know, just anything to change their lifestyle to help their condition. I'm totally good. Like, I don't really need the help, but I mean, if you want to, you can. I'm just going to push you guys away a little bit. But yeah, if you want to, feel free. I just don't know that I'll read it or respond to you. So if I don't respond to certain things, just don't feel offended. I have to create those boundaries for myself. So, I mean, I'm back-ish. Hopefully I'm back, but I did just want this to be a short video. It's obviously super long because this isn't really a story I can tell in 15 minutes. So for those of you who stuck it out to the end, thank you so much. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. This isn't the usual type of content I do, but if you like chatty get ready with me's, let me know. I can definitely do them. I just don't always have a lot to talk about. So yeah, there is that. So I hope that you guys are all staying safe. I hope that you're being kind. I hope that things are going well for you. I hope that you're loving yourself. I hope that you're happy. I hope that you're all the things that you want to be right now in life. And I hope that you end this year with a bang. And I hope you go into next year going even bigger. I just want everyone to be kind of, you know, on a high in their life, just feeling good, feeling loved, being able to love, and just all the things. I genuinely just, I feel like that's me going into next year, you know, or even ending this year. Like, I just feel so great and I want that for so many other people. So yeah, I hope that that's happening for you all, and know that I love each and every one of you, and I hope that, you know, and I just want that for all of you too. So know that I love each and every one of you, and I hope that you join me for the next video, and I'll see you then. Until then, goodbye.